Hey guys, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, talking about the Diamondback release. Now this is a bike that I have really grown to appreciate over the last couple months. I am a Diamondback dealer, so I took one of these bikes, this bike actually right off the showroom floor, and I have really been putting it through the paces over the last couple months. A lot of people ask me about Diamondback. I rode Diamondback up in Park City, Utah about this time last year for a couple days in a row. Got to meet the Diamondback representatives. They gave me a bike and told me to go put it through its paces. I did. I fell in love with it. Now I can offer Diamondback. I think it's a very good valued bike to my customers when they're looking for, maybe want a higher end group set, higher end suspension for the same price that a lot of other bikes are costing a lot more, or not giving you a full group set. One really cool thing I want to talk about Diamondback, and I had a lot of people at the trail asking me about this. They said, man, that's a cool bike. I can see it rides good. We can't catch that Diamondback. But it has externally routed cables. We're pretty spoiled nowadays, and we're in July 2022. Today's actually July 4th. I'm at my mom's house for a picnic, so I figured I'd do a couple videos while I was here and wash this bike, because you can see I rode this bike hard yesterday. We had a big group ride out at Bethel, and this bike totally kicked butt yesterday. And we had a lot of bikes out there. So this bike was it was comfortable when I was riding with the slower riders. It was sure-footed riding with those guys. But then when I wanted to open this bike up and ride with the more advanced guys too, this bike definitely let me ride those trails at speed and let me ride at comfort. After all day riding this bike, I still felt good. I had some people asked me if I wanted to go paddle boarding last night. Went straight from the mountain bike to paddle boarding. After riding my race bike or a hardtail for a few hours like that, I would have had to say, no, I got to go take it easy tonight. I am 52 years old. This trail bike feels awesome. And let me go back to the externally routed cables. When you have a situation, and situations pop up, that you have to replace a cable or replace a hydraulic line, when you have to fish that through a frame, it gets a lot more complicated. Sure, your bike shop can do it. Sure, most of you guys probably can do it at the house, but it does make things more complicated on the fly. Now, this is one of those bikes that you could throw in your van and go on a mountain biking trip with your buddies. A lot of times at a trailhead or at a campsite, it's harder to do those kind of things. Things happen. Recently, I had a friend of mine, it was late at night, we were leaning the bikes up against a tree. His pedal somehow got stuck in my derailleur, rear derailleur cable. As the morning, when he was grabbing his cup of coffee, he pulled his bike out. His pedal actually ripped the cable to shreds. So that's just an accident that happened. If I had to run that cable that morning through the frame, it would have been a lot bigger of a hassle. Within 15 minutes, I was able to replace the rear derailleur cable, zip tie it to the frame, and I was out rolling again. There's definitely something to be said about external cable routing. It maybe doesn't look quite as clean, but you can see this bike is dirty. It's not a clean bike anyway, so if you're really using your mountain bike, why care if your cables are out? It really makes things super easy. Another important part is hydraulic brake lines. Most hydraulic brakes come as a set, or they come pre-bled. So that means out of the factory, if you don't have to cut that line, you can bolt it straight to your frame. When I say bolt, I mean zip tie it in this case, straight to your frame and be rolling within minutes. If at a trailhead or at your campsite, if something happens to your hydraulic cable and you've got to cut that perfectly bled cable from the factory, run it through your frame, reattach it and re-bleed it, it turns into either a pain in the butt where you're just not going to do it, so you're going to ride without brakes, or you're going to end up having to go into town to a bike shop and see if you can beg and plead one of these bike shops on a busy Saturday to re-bleed your brakes for you. Diamondback makes that super easy. Zip tie it to your frame and go. So there's definitely something to be said about low maintenance. And low maintenance and external cable routing go hand in hand. Think about that when you're buying your bike. Is it more important that cable is tucked into your frame for a few feet and then it comes out somewhere anyway? or having it where you can easily get to it if you need it. Another really important thing on Diamondback and full suspension bikes in general is maintenance on the pivots. Loose pivots, noisy pivots, stuff like that. I do a lot of work in Biloxi Bicycle Works on full suspension bikes. Some of them are a real pain in the butt to work on. Diamondback isn't. So if I go to the non-drive side, all my access to the pivot bolts are on the non-drive side. They're easily accessible, so you don't have to pull cranks, you don't have to do anything crazy. If I need to lube, grease, inspect, or replace any parts on this rear suspension linkage, it's easy. I could do it with basic tools. I could do it at basic tools at a trailhead. In less than an hour, I can completely disassemble this whole rear suspension linkage, including the shock linkage, inspect, re-grease, do any maintenance, and have it back together within an hour and be riding. And that's not with the support of my bike shop right behind me. I'm talking about on the tailgate of a truck with an Allen wrench, a couple Allen wrenches. So just know, Diamondback has done a few things to make this bike really user-friendly. It's a bike that you can ride. I mean, they've spec'd this bike with a full XT Grupo set. They've even laced XT hubs into the Blanchard wheels. So they haven't taken, they haven't cut corners. This is a very well-made frame. The geometry of this frame is great. The numbers aren't crazy weird. They're right in the middle. That means, on some of the tighter rock garden sections that I've had this bike on, it's very stable. It's very easy to maneuver. And with this quick engagement rear hub, using the pedals for balance and to get over stuff is awesome. On the other side of things, like yesterday, flowing through single track, not manicured single track, but real single track. This bike goes over roots, it goes over rocks, it does everything at speed, it handles tight corners. Fantastic. If you happen to be somewhere where you can point this bike downhill, this bike feels very stable on the downhill as well. It's not going to get you in trouble. A lot of good things going on with the Diamondback. They put a lot of value into their bikes. Any questions, ask me. I've been riding this Diamondback and I really, really enjoy it. My name is Bart Luther. You can find me at Biloxi Bicycle Works. We do sell this online as well, so govvelo.com, Govvelo. You can reach me at customer service at govvelo.com. Just know, not only me, but the rest of the guys and girls in the shop, we ride Diamondbacks. We ride a lot of bikes. The Diamondback is one of those bikes that I can easily, take off the showroom floor, demo out with some of my guys, and I know they're going to enjoy this bike. I know you're going to enjoy it. So when you're looking at a good value and a full suspension mountain bike, definitely check out the Diamondback release. Right now in July of 2022, I don't think you can find another bike with this high of a group set for the price. This is about $4,000 bike with a 4-bar pivot suspension on it. They call it the level link suspension. It works really good. Some Hot Wheels right out of the box. Full XT package. When I say that, hubs, brake rotors, brakes, crank, bottom brackets, shifters, brakes. When I say full XT, it's a full XT. They did not skimp on this bike. It's hard to find a full group XT group set anyway. Buy this bike if you want a solid performer at a great price. Sometimes I don't think Diamondback gets the credit they deserve. Why? Because a few years ago they went direct to consumer. There's a lot of bikes going direct to consumer and a lot more going there. Just to name a few, we got Canyon. Trek does a lot of it. Specialized does a lot of it. There's a lot of bikes going direct to consumer. That's just the way of the world right now. You can still buy this Diamondback direct to consumer, but Diamondback likes it when you buy it from a local bike shop. So, we are a local bike shop that does put a lot of pride when we assemble these bikes. And then a local bike shop can make sure you're getting the right geometry, the right fit, help you set up suspension, answer any questions, eye to eye. So let me be your local bike shop, even if you're not local. Now, if you do have a local Diamondback dealer, definitely go see those guys. But if you're in a rural area or you don't have a good Diamondback dealer next to you, feel free to call Biloxi Bicycle Works or hit me up on govvelo.com. I'd be glad to help you. I'm really like what I can offer my customers with this bike. There's a lot of people looking for that next level bike, and I can see why. And the world is crazy right now, and a bike like this makes the world freaking awesome again. So think about spending the money on a bike. It won't be wasted money. You're going to have a blast, and the people that are out there mountain biking with you are awesome. I invite you guys to come mountain biking with me, Bart Luther. I'm easy to find. I'm real. Facebook, Instagram, the bike shop, Biloxi Bicycle Works. You know, I do ride a lot of bikes, and you can see this is the bike I'm riding right now. So Diamondback release is awesome. It's a great value. I believe in it. Hit me up and I'll tell you why. Bart from Biloxi Bicycle Works and Bicycle Rider YouTube. If you like our channel, like and subscribe. It lets YouTube see that you're kind of watching us. And I'll try to get some ride video of this bike, but it's absolutely awesome. Give it a try. Diamondback release. Thank you.